This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Is of paramount importance to me to ensure that we have high quality education. But I also say it is challenging. I see the challenge, I feel the challenge of needing to make this decision tonight. But I do not feel that we can wait longer.
It's useful to not only limit the amount of salt that we apply, but it's also very important to limit the amount of impervious surface and development that we have.
It means a lot to me because it's shown that over the past 5 years my work has been leading to stuff and I get to constantly see improvement.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching News 8 Now. I'm Dua Esrar. That's Derek Sibley. It is Tuesday, January 24th. Thank you for waking up alongside us today. We're going to start off with weather. Derek, it was a little warmer than it was yesterday, but there was quite a bit of ice on the ground.
Yeah, you know, there are some spots out there, like you mentioned here, of some slick roadways that are showing up here on our computers here as well, which we'll talk about in that commute forecast. But right now, though, I can tell you weather-wise, things are looking pretty quiet, but also pretty cloudy outside now as we take a live look here from City Cam 8th. And in Eau Claire, we're looking at 24, Winona's at 25, and La Crosse waking up to 27 degrees, but cloudy skies. Check out these wind chill values. We are into the upper teens to low 20s as you head out the door, so you'll probably need that jacket more than likely here this morning once again, as we are also watching some cloudy skies that continue to move in. Notice the drier air back towards the west breaking apart the cloud cover, so we may see a little bit of decreasing clouds here during the morning hours, but then as we head to the afternoon and also as we take you into the evening hours, expect increasing clouds. Skies will then turn mostly cloudy as a result, with high temperatures this afternoon into the low 30s, making it yet another mild day across the area here today under a light west-southwest wind around 5 to 10 miles an hour here. Dua will take a look at that full weather forecast a little bit later.
All right, thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
You better have some good news for me.
I'll try. I'll do my best. I'll do my very best.
That's what matters. All right, thanks, Derek.
Yep.
We have new information on the shooting in Des Moines that left 2 students dead and an adult in critical condition. 18-year-old Preston Walls was charged and arrested with 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and criminal gang participation. Police said in an updated statement the shooting happened just before 1 on Monday afternoon at Starts Right Here, a nonprofit organization that helps at-risk kids. The adult that was shot was identified as the rapper Will Keeps, who runs the nonprofit. He and the 2 students were taken to the hospital where the students died. Back here in Wisconsin, Campbell police are asking for the public's help in finding a missing 15-year-old girl. Police say Jaden Halverson ran away from home around 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. She is 5 feet 6 and her current hair color is red. She has a pierced eyebrow, 2 nose piercings, and a few small knuckle tattoos. Police say she could be wearing a black puffy winter jacket, black pants, and winter boots. If you have information about Jaden or if you see her, Campbell police are asking you to call them. Their number is on your screen. Police confirmed that the body found in Monroe County last week is of a missing woman. Felicia Wano was last seen on December 29th last week. A search team found the body of the woman in the township of LaGrange. The Ho-Chunk Police Department confirmed they found Wana dead. The La Crosse School Board voted 6-2 to close Lincoln Middle School at the end of this August. That leaves students in La Crosse School District with 2 middle schools, Longfellow on the south side and Logan on the north side. Superintendent Aaron Engel explained that this recommendation comes from declining enrollment on top of aging buildings and the cost of maintaining those facilities.
It is of paramount importance to me to ensure that we have high quality education. But I also say it is challenging. I see the challenge, I feel the challenge of needing to make this decision tonight. But I do not feel that we can wait longer.
Engel said if the vote hadn't gone through, the district would be forced to cut $4.6 million out of the budget. The board also moved to go to a $60 million 6-year referendum to maintain what the district has to offer. That includes building maintenance and mental health resources for students. In La Crosse, area schools underwent training to improve how they respond during a crisis. The state DOJ's Office of School Safety hosted training sessions for updated crisis response protocols and the way to reunite students with loved ones afterwards. The La Crosse School District hosted this training at Logan High School for their district. 5 new vocabulary terms like hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter help all those groups understand what's happening in the moment and what those groups need to do. Officials say clear communication is crucial when a crisis happens.
Been a mistake of districts in the past of going into a lockdown when all we wanted to do was just hold in their classroom so that medical personnel could get into a building.
The La Crosse Police Department says training like this is all about partnership and preparation and hope that it can provide some sense of security.
Really, at the end of the day, it makes our schools safer, it makes our students safer, and hopefully instills a higher level of confidence in the families when it comes to a safe environment for students to learn.
American Rescue Plan Act dollars currently fund the DOJ's Office of School Safety through this December. DOJ officials hope the legislature will permanently fund the program in the next biennial budget. Wisconsin's Emergency Rental Assistance Program is ending at the end of this month. The program launched in February of 2021 to help people who couldn't pay their rent or utilities because of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to CooleyCap, the program has helped more than 5,000 households in 4 counties with more than $22 million in funding. CooleyCap leaders say that funding was essential to keep people in their homes.
This has been a critical eviction prevention program in our region. Without the WERA program, we would have seen an increase in homelessness and we would have seen catastrophic effects on the local economy.
CooleyCap is taking applications for WERA until January 31st. After that, those accepted for the program will get help until the rest of the emergency funding runs out. CooleyCap will start transitioning people into their housing stability program that helps people find jobs, budget, and other resources. Well, it's a part of Midwestern culture. As snow and ice fill roads and sidewalks, salt is not so far behind to break it all down. But nature experts are giving us a warning. Using too much salt can have harmful effects to our drinking water. The coalition Wisconsin Saltwise says local governments using too much salt can actually deposit in and pollute water sources. Experts say just a teaspoon of salt permanently pollutes 5 gallons of water, and a 2018 DNR report found that more than 800,000 tons of chloride is in Wisconsin rivers. This week is Salt Awareness Week, and one Saltwise guest speaker says reducing salt application is important, but redevelopment to roads and parking lots can also release harmful particles.
It's useful to not only limit the amount of salt that we apply, but it's also very important to limit the amount of impervious surface and development that we have.
Recreation can start with reducing salt usage and are now an official partner with Wisconsin Saltwise and have joined its Salt Smart Collaborative. We have a link with more information on news8000.com. A teen Civil Air Patrol commander is recognized for his hard work as a leader. Award. Only around 15% of all cadets earn it. The award goes to people who show strong leadership and commitment. Elijah joined the patrol in November of 2017 and says he's grown a lot.
It means a lot to me because it's shown that over the past 5 years my work has been leading to stuff and I get to constantly see improvement.
V says he has a direct leadership style and likes to connect with everyone under his command. He's pursuing his private pilot certificate and recently received a flight training scholarship. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers will deliver his 5th State of the State address at 7 p.m. today from the state capitol. It's a yearly tradition for the governor to come before the legislature and discuss both the Senate's progress and what he hopes to accomplish in his new term. Evers is expected to touch on abortion as he's repeatedly called for the legislature to create a referendum for Wisconsinites to vote on the abortion ban that is current state law. He's also expected to discuss education and shared revenue and other tax reforms. The governor's YouTube and Facebook pages will stream the address. Also happening today, Western Technical College's Tomah campus will host a ribbon cutting ceremony and open house for their newly remodeled medical assistant classroom. The project helps create more space for proper lab facilities and classroom instruction. This event begins at 2 this afternoon and runs till 4 at Western's Tomah campus. We have more information on our website, news8000.com. Well, still ahead on your morning news, Ticketmaster gives its testimony after its meltdown, preventing Taylor Swift fans from buying concert tickets. And Consumer Reports tells us which are the most popular supplements, whether they work or not, and which ones you should always avoid. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A heartwarming moment played out on the cold ice of a hockey tournament in Minnesota over the weekend. The U.S. Pond Hockey Championships were worried about snow preventing them from playing on Lake Nokomis. But the weather was so good, and so was the timing for Matt Planting. Amy Gacksetter is his girlfriend, who he met playing hockey. Both their teams haven't won this year, but victory and love was in the air for the two. They won their first game, and Amy said yes. Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, this morning we are waking up to a quiet start. It is a little bit cloudy, though, and cold, with temperatures well into the 20s. It's 27 in La Crosse now and 24 degrees in Eau Claire, with current wind chill values into the upper teens and in some spots even the low 20s. In fact, in La Crosse, it does feel like it's currently 19 degrees. We are watching the clouds begin to move away here, and we got some drier air back towards the west that may begin to erode some of those cloudy skies here this morning before it begins to turn mostly cloudy again, which is in the forecast here for La Crosse County, with highs in the low 30s. And the same can be said here today across our south zones here too, with Westby at around 30 degrees this afternoon. Heading into the central zones, 32 in Melrose today, and we'll be at 33 for that high in La Crosse. Meanwhile, across the north zones, upper 20s with Eau Claire will be around 29 degrees. So for your schoolcast for the morning, the bus stop 29, partly cloudy, and then by the lunch hour 29 degrees. We'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies for dismissal time, temperatures at around 33. Stay tuned, we'll have a check on that full weather forecast. That's still to come next in weather.
Today, the entertainment ticketing industry is under scrutiny on Capitol Hill. A Senate panel will hear testimony from several witnesses, including the president and CFO of Live Nation, which merged with Ticketmaster back in 2010, when a meltdown by Ticketmaster's website blocked Taylor Swift fans from buying concert tickets. Live Nation is blaming bots and online secondary marketplaces for the fiasco. The tech industry has been hit with more layoffs this week. This time, media streaming service Spotify said it's cutting 6% of its workforce, which is roughly 600 jobs. The company's chief content officer, Dawn Ostroff, is also stepping down. Spotify's announcement follows similar moves from several other major tech companies, including Google, Meta, Twitter, and Vox Media, who also announced cuts on Monday. Out with the new and in with the old. Yeah, you heard that right, and I definitely read that wrong. Cans with Natty Light will soon be getting this retro-inspired makeover. The look mirrors the natural light can design from 1979. It's part of the company's campaign to mature the identity of the beer, which is popular amongst college-aged people. No word yet on when the new look will be unveiled nationwide. The new year is here, and improving your health and wellness, including losing some weight, may be on your list of resolutions. Keeping yourself accountable can be easier with the help of an accurate bathroom scale. And Just in Time, Consumer Reports is here to help with some of the best scales from their recent tests and some tips on the best time to weigh yourself.
Rhett is one of millions of people who often take vitamins and other supplements.
Multivitamins every day, and then zinc usually just during the winter months when I need a little extra boost.
According to a survey by Consumer Reports, 60% of adults in the U.S. take at least one supplement every day. But do these supplements really work?
It's difficult to know if a supplement is actually working, especially if you're making medication or lifestyle changes at the same time.
Besides vitamins and multivitamins, the most popular supplements Americans take to support overall health are fish oil, calcium, and probiotics.
Research shows that taking fish oil can help reduce inflammation, that calcium supplements can help with bone health, and that probiotics can treat diarrhea from taking antibiotics. But so far, no research demonstrates that probiotics actually improve overall health.
When it comes to supplements taken to strengthen immunity, one of the most popular is zinc. But unless you're actually zinc deficient, you're probably getting the recommended amount by eating a balanced diet.
There's also evidence that a diet rich in antioxidants such as berries, blackberries, pumpkins, carrots, and cruciferous vegetables may support brain health.
Melatonin was by far the most popular supplement for sleep, and CR says there's good reason.
Taking melatonin can help you fall asleep about 7 minutes faster, and studies show it's particularly helpful for those with jet lag or sleep disorders. But to avoid interfering with the body's own natural production of it, avoid taking high doses over long periods of time.
After biotin, collagen was the second most common supplement taken in the survey to make hair, skin, and nails healthier. But some supplements come with serious risks, like liver damage. CR recommends you always avoid Chaparral, Coltsfoot, and Comfrey.
Consumer Reports warns consumers to steer clear of risky supplements. Essentially, the longer you take them, the higher risk you have of needing larger doses for them to take effect.
Well, this morning we are waking up to a pretty cloudy start and also a little bit of a cool start here too, with temperatures at around 27 degrees. In La Crosse, we have a feel-like temperature though of 19 degrees. Visibility though looking good here on the roadways in La Crosse, around 10 miles. Meanwhile, the visibility here is a little bit lower at 7 miles in Eau Claire. Temperatures here for you at 23 under those mainly cloudy skies. Current conditions as far as temperature goes across the area, well into the 20s this morning. Much colder back towards the west, where our folks and our neighbors in Minnesota, they're currently into the teens and single digits, with wind chill values here into the upper teens to low 20s across much of the area this morning. Our forecast high temperatures today should be warming up into the upper 20s to low 30s, especially in La Crosse today. You're looking at a high of 33 degrees today, so pretty mild. Also some clouds that continue to move their way towards the east this morning. Looking at some drier air though moving in from the west. That should help erode some of those clouds though that we're currently seeing here this morning through at least noon today. And then by 4 o'clock, then we start to see some increasing moisture that could lead to some mostly cloudy skies by the late afternoon hours, and the same can be said as we take you into early this evening. And you'll see this here on Sky Tracker as well, showing all those mainly cloudy skies here throughout the day, and even a little bit of possible development of a few flurries here by the time we reach this afternoon. Now, as we take you into later in the day, you can see those clouds continue along with that south wind. So we will be looking at those temperatures, taking advantage of that southerly wind to allow us to see upper 20s to low 30s, making it pretty mild. Notice the snow moving in from the west, and that is courtesy of a couple of disturbances. Actually, we have this front here to our north that's kind of draped position across the area, not really moving a whole lot, and we're also watching this low pressure system down to the south here too. So we're kind of under the influence of a little bit of a moisture gradient, if you will, with this front here to the north and that low to the south. That could allow for some snow shower development here by early tomorrow morning, and maybe even a few leftover snow showers or flurries are possible into tomorrow afternoon. So that's why we do have those snow chances in the forecast there for you for tomorrow. After that, it looks like a mainly cloudy day here for Thursday. Temperatures drop to the 20s behind the front as it moves through. And then for Friday, another chance of snow showers, a little bit warmer though, with a high of 34. And we're tracking our next storm system here too that will bring us the snow showers on Saturday. And at the same time behind that system, we'll be looking at some much colder airs. Highs will drop into the teens here starting this weekend, and also continue into early next week, as highs will mainly be into those single digits and teens, and lows dropping to the single digits and below zero by the end of this week and also into next week. Stay with us though. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. But for now, we are sending in a break with a look at what happened on this day in history for January 24th. We'll be right back. Well, this morning we are waking up to a bit of a cloudy and cold start here as you head out the door, with current temperature readings into the 20s, 23 in Eau Claire now, 27 degrees now in Sparta. And we're also watching the cloud cover here today. Now this morning, mainly partly cloudy skies, and that trend continues for your afternoon as well. Dog walking conditions, though, by this evening will turn mostly cloudy skies, but really no significant weather, though, will be overhead. Stay tuned, though. We'll have a check on that commute forecast. That'll be next in weather.
Welcome to the Blitz. Bring on another week of high school hoops. Conference play will pick back up tonight, but we had a couple of non-conference matchups last night. with 4 of our area teams going at it. Let's start in Galesville, the GET student section bringing the noise. The birthday boy, Cody Schmitz, turning the big 1-7 on Monday night. He was ready to go. The Redhawks taking on Cochran Fountain City, and Schmitz celebrating the only way he knows how, by putting on a show in front of the home crowd. Early first half, Redhawks steal it. Outlet to Schmitz. The junior takes it up strong, count the bucket plus the foul. GET off to a hot start, and Schmitz just getting started later in the half, forces the steal, and at 17, those knees are as fresh as they're gonna be. Schmitz throws it down, Hawks up 9, and then the supporting cast coming up big for GET. Brayden Anabas in the corner knocks down the 3. Redhawks take a 12-point lead. Then check out this pass here from Jackson Burns. Beautiful find to Will Mack for the score. 13-point advantage for the home team. Pirates trying to stay in the fight. Drew Wickup knocks down the baseline J. That cuts it back to 11, but Monday night belonged to the birthday boy, and all he wanted to do was get the home crowd on its feet. Schmitz again rocking the rim, and then later in the half showing he can do it all. Crossover, dribble drive, finger roll, and a beauty. Redhawks soar past CFC 67-44. In Onalaska, the 12-1 Luther Knights taking on the 11-2 Melrose Mindoro Mustangs early in this one. Melman rolling, Dominic McRoberts out to Ty Zeman, then down low to Presley Byam, who gives a little shake, banks it in for the bucket. And how about some defense from the big man? Isaiah Switzenberg driving to the bucket, but Byam says, get that out of here. Big block for the Mustangs, but Luther would bounce back this time. Switzenberg in the corner, not gonna block that one. Knights tie it up. And check out this possession here. Gabe Hulskamp with the rebound. 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, and then Sinclair Bias is there for the finish. No dribble needed. First half winding down now. Nathan Riley with the no-look pass to Logan Barr. He's gonna knock down the 3. Knights run away with it, 81-52. That's gonna do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Another mass shooting has taken place in California, this time in the town of Half Moon Bay. Police say a 67-year-old man opened fire at a farming facility on Monday, killing more than a half-dozen people. Chung-Lee Zhao was apprehended shortly after the attack. The sheriff says he acted alone, and authorities are searching for a motive. Meanwhile, behind the Lunar New Year celebration on Sunday is still unclear. The California shootings are not the only recent incidents. 2 others have occurred on Monday, Kansas and Pennsylvania. President Biden has issued a statement calling on Congress to pass an assault weapons and high-capacity magazine ban, and legislation that raises the minimum purchasing age to 21 years old. The Gun Violence Archive defines a mass shooting as an incident where at least 4 people, not including the suspect, are shot. According to an archive report, there's been more than 3 dozen mass shootings in the U.S. since the start of this year. Neighbors are back in their homes this morning after being evacuated for most of the day. In Winstead, Minnesota, officers were in a standoff with a suspect of child pornography. David Schumann fills us in on the event.
A SWAT team marched into a home in Winstead Monday, ending a standoff with a child pornography suspect. The McLeod County Sheriff says they found the man dead inside.
Obviously, this isn't the outcome we wanted for anybody, since there's another family hurting right now. But on our standpoint, with the families of our involved, it's good news.
The sheriff says the suspect shot 2 deputies earlier in the day when they tried to serve a warrant on him. The deputies were released from the hospital Monday night. Once it became clear the man wouldn't come out, surrounding neighbors were evacuated, including a home daycare with nearly a dozen toddlers inside.
No, I was really stressed, but I was trying to stay calm for the kids until I told them we're going on a field trip. We're going in a big armored truck, and then we're going to go see their parents. Definitely something I'll never forget.
During the many hours people were out of their homes, police never were able to make contact with the suspect. They believed he was alone inside with multiple guns, so officers used robots to help assess the situation, which is when they learned the man was dead.
They flew some drones inside the residence and were able to get the robot in the residence, which was able to open the doors, fly through the house, and secure it that way. Much safer for everybody than sending in personnel.
The sheriff says he doesn't know if anyone on the law enforcement side fired their weapons during the warrant execution. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension will be investigating the scene. In Winstead, David Schumann, WCCO 4 News.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz held a press conference Monday in Roseville, Minnesota. Walz announced a new budget for the protection and improvement of health and safety for all Minnesotans. The Minnesota budget will focus on children and families, targeting the varying needs of individual communities.
We want Minnesota to be the best place to raise a family and have children. We know that that can't be possible if you do not have housing stability. Housing stability is everything when it comes to having them ready for school, being in a safe environment, and making sure they're able to achieve and thrive where they need to.
And some of the other services include increasing mental health care services.
If that means mental health counselors, mental health counselors. If that means more police officers on the street, it's more police officers, more firefighters. And I think one of the things that it addresses is the needs are not the same in every community.
Walz made a similar proposal last spring, but the legislature was divided then between a Republican-controlled Senate and a Democratic-led House. The COVID-19 pandemic created a lasting impact on where parents decide to send their kids to school in Minnesota. As Derek James reports, the freedom parents have to choose also requires some research into the schools they're looking at.
Hundreds of Twin Cities kids started the school week with a field trip. A chance for students to celebrate with sing-alongs, dancing, and playtime at the Minnesota Children's Museum in St. Paul. School choice supporter Bree Cruz chaperoned her daughter Haven's class.
Every family has their own set of values and things that are important to them, and so being able to have the freedom to decide where your kids are going to spend most of their week and most of their day.
In Minnesota, it's the freedom to choose between traditional public schools, public charters and magnets, private schools, as well as online and homeschooling. Kelly Schulte has had 20 years experience teaching in nearly all of the types. And as a parent,
one year we had 5 kids in 5 schools in 3 cities.
Schulte's advice?
Look at what's out there and where you're being drawn and go visit. Because when you walk inside the building, you feel the culture, you meet the people, that's how you know this is where your child should be or not.
The COVID-19 pandemic had a major impact on school choice in Minnesota. Families are now more open to different types of schools.
That really woke parents up to literally paying attention to what's going on in their schools, in their school districts.
Schulte believes it's leading to greater competition, forcing schools to improve.
Now we have all of these options, which I think have been strengthened through the COVID era, that now those schools are getting stronger and getting momentum.
Although parents have the option to choose where their children go to school, they must follow certain guidelines for enrollment since each school is different. It's winter in Minnesota, but one family is still growing several acres of crops in a shipping container. John Lorston shows us how hydroponic farming is allowing them to haul in a big winter harvest.
It's the time of year when fertile fields are buried under snow and ice. In a sense, it's winter break for farmers, but not in the town of Wycombe.
We got like a summer crisp and a romaine, and then I got some basil.
A few months ago, Tony Ray and his wife Kelly came to the realization that farming doesn't have to end in the fall. So they bought a shipping container, installed a hydroponic system, and went to work growing vegetables.
Just found it and then just did some research on it and just kind of fell in love with the whole idea of it. You know, I can grow 4 acres right here.
And they do it without any soil and no chemicals, plus no competition from wildlife. It only takes 5 gallons of recycled water to grow all these crops. Gravity is the main force, pulling the water from the ceiling to the floor as vegetables grow sideways on walls.
There's no soil other than the peat moss pods that we start the seed in.
It's important to know that this type of farming is unique because it isn't a greenhouse, which means photosynthesis happens in other ways. These LED lights are on from 14 to 18 hours a day. The red acts as sunlight and the blue stimulates root growth.
And it's actually really exciting when people come in to look at it. They're just like in awe. They can't believe that we can do this vertically on a wall.
I got my radishes right on the end so I can eat while I'm working.
Radishes, kohlrabi, arugula, and a variety of other lettuces can go from the wall to a kitchen table in a matter of hours. There's a harvest nearly every winter day, which is exactly how Ray of Sunshine Farms wants it.
I can take that to a restaurant and they'll have fresh lettuce within 3 hours. That's pretty much my goal, is just to let people enjoy what nature can give us.
The rays sell to a number of families and can be found on the Minnesota Grown website. They hope to build a second container for flowers. A pet therapy program is returning to UW Health Kids, and they're asking for your help. The Caring Canines program needs dogs who can visit with kids a few times a month at American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. If you aren't from the Madison area but don't mind the drive a couple times a month, you might be the perfect fit for this role. The Caring Canines program aims to make hospital stays a little less stressful for children by taking advantage of a dog's empathetic abilities.
Dogs have an innate sense that we as humans don't have. They're able to break down those barriers and really provide that tactile and that emotional companionship.
If you're interested in applying, we posted more information at news8000.com.
Well, this morning we are waking up to a pretty quiet start, but also a little bit cloudy out there with current temperature readings into the 20s, 27 degrees now in La Crosse. Temperatures here to the north in Eau Claire running at 23 degrees. Your forecast today overall does call for some of those cloudy skies to move in once again later today, with our forecast high expected to be 33 and a southwest wind around 5 to 10. For tonight, we drop down to 20 degrees. Skies will then turn cloudy again, looking cold here as well, but at least the winds will be light and variable, so not too much in the way of wind chill concerns. Now, we do have a little bit of concerns on the roadways, maybe a little bit of icing here developing across portions of our eastern zones back to the north here as well, some partially covered roads. But overall, your forecast, though, does look good here for the roadways, here for the weather. Partly cloudy for the morning, turning mainly cloudy between that lunch hour, and especially as we head into your evening commute here as well. But overall, nothing too significant in terms of weather concerns there. But we do have some snow in the forecast, and we'll talk more about that coming up in the For the Forecast in just a bit. Dua?
Well, coming up in our Buzz Report, the popular 90s show Seinfeld becomes a collector's item. That and more. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Well, this morning we are off to a bit of a cold and also cloudy start here as well, as the current conditions in La Crosse are currently at 27 degrees under those cloudy skies. A feel like of 19, though. River Stage, 5.44 feet and holding steady. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, it's also looking cloudy here, too. Temperatures at 23 degrees with visibility values at around 7 miles. Now, across the area, our current temperature readings are mainly into the 20s. We're looking at 27 degrees in Sparta, 24 the temperature now in Viroqua, and Winona is currently coming in with a temperature of 21 degrees, but it does feel a little cooler than that when you factor in the wind chills, because it does make it feel like it's into the upper teens to low 20s, so you might want to pack that jacket here with you today. High temperatures expected to reach the low 30s here in many spots across much of our central and southern zones, but across the north zones will be mainly into the upper 20s, though, come this afternoon. A few clouds continue to work their way across the area, but there's some clearing, though, back towards the west, which may affect us here later today, and that's good news. Maybe just partly cloudy here between around 7 and noon. Instead of mostly cloudy, but then you can see we do turn mostly cloudy by 4 o'clock and then completely overcast by the time we reach early this evening. Look at all the clouds here being picked up on Sky Tracker here throughout the morning. Again, we could see some clearing in some spots, though, with a couple of light snow flurries here throughout much of the day and also into the afternoon. Notice that southerly to southwest wind flow that we'll be receiving here today, and that should help keep us relatively mild, as you can see, 20s and 30s here this afternoon despite the cloud cover overhead. Now, we may see a little bit of snow here work their way in across portions of the area as we head into tonight. And also, we do have those snow chances in the forecast for tomorrow morning. And the reason being is because we're watching a couple of systems. We have this cold front here positioned to our north, which is going to slowly make its way south. And we also have this low pressure system developing here to our south, too. Now, this system is expected to pass to our south, but a little bit of a moisture gradient sitting up between the system to the south and the cold front to the north may spark some snow showers here tonight and also into early tomorrow morning. But by the time we reach tomorrow afternoon, a lot of this will come to a close as that system begins to work its way towards the east and the front drops to the south. Maybe a couple of snow showers are still possible in the forecast, which is why we still have it here on the 8-day forecast overall for tomorrow on Wednesday, and then cloudy skies for Thursday. Now, there is another system moving in later this week on Friday. That could give us our next best chance of snow, and we may be talking about more snow showers here as we head into Saturday. But the bigger story, though, after that is going to be our high temperatures dropping into the teens this weekend behind that system that will be giving us some snow here as we close the end of this work week, and you can see our high temperatures will remain into the teens Sunday and also through early next week. Low temperatures also drop into the single digits and below zero here too late this week and also into next week.
How are we going to pull this off?
We're going to need a team.
Paramount has released a new trailer for Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Based on the pen and paper role-playing game, the film stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and creatures straight out of the Monster Manual. The movie delves into theaters March 31st. Well, it's certainly connected moviegoers. Avatar: The Way of Water continues to set records. Disney announced the movie has surpassed the $2 billion mark at the worldwide box office. Combined with the original Avatar and Titanic, this makes James Cameron the only director to helm 3 movies in the $2 billion club. It also finished first for the 6th straight week with $19.7 million. Fisher-Price is introducing the Seinfeld Little People collector set to the stage. This collector set allows Fisher-Price to continue tapping into the world of adult superfans. The set depicts Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer in apartment 5A and their booth in Monk's Cafe one more time to honor the past 30-plus years of laughs. Fans and collectors can find Seinfeld Little People collector through Amazon and retailers nationwide for $24.99. Well, this is where we usually head to break with today's Look Who's 8, but we're having some issues with our entry forms, but we will make sure to get your entries onto Look Who's 8 when we can.
Yeah, for now, if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. Look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. Time for your morning news now. Police confirmed that the body found in Monroe County last week is that of a missing woman. Felicia Wana was last seen on December 29th last week. A search team found the body of a woman in the township of LaGrange. The Ho-Chunk Police Department confirmed they found Wana dead. The La Crosse School Board voted 6-2 to close Lincoln Middle School at the end of this August. That leaves students in the La Crosse School District with 2 middle schools, Longfellow on the south side and Logan on the north side. Superintendent Aaron Engel explained that this recommendation comes from declining enrollment and on top of aging buildings and the cost of maintaining those facilities.
It is of paramount importance to me to ensure that we have high quality education. But I also say it is challenging. I see the challenge, I feel the challenge of needing to make this decision tonight. But I do not feel that we can wait longer.
Engel said if the vote hadn't gone through, the district would be forced to cut $4.6 million out of the budget. The board also moved to go to a $60 million 6-year referendum to maintain what the district has to offer. That includes building maintenance and mental health resources for students. Area schools underwent training to improve how they respond during a crisis. The state's Department of Justice Office of School Safety hosted training sessions for updated crisis response protocols and the way to reunite students with loved ones afterwards. The La Crosse School District hosted this DOJ training at Logan High School for their district. 5 new vocabulary terms: hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter help all those groups understand what's happening in the moment and what those groups need to do. Officials say clear communication is crucial when a crisis happens.
It's been a mistake of districts in the past of going into a lockdown when all we wanted to do was just hold in their classrooms so that medical personnel could get into a building.
The La Crosse Police Department says training like this is all about partnership and preparation, and they hope training like this can provide some more sense of security. Wisconsin's Emergency Rental Assistance Program is ending at the end of this month. The program launched in February of 2021 to help people who couldn't pay their rent or utilities because of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Cooley Cap, the program has helped more than 5,000 households in 4 countries with more than $22 million in funding. Cooley Cap leaders say the funding was essential to keep people in their homes.
This has been a critical eviction prevention program in our region. Without the WERA program, we would have seen an increase in homelessness and we would have seen catastrophic effects on the local economy.
Cooley Cap is taking applications for WERA until January 31st. After that, those accepted for the program will get help until the rest of the emergency funding runs out. Cooley Cap will start transitioning people into their housing stability program that helps people find jobs, budget, and other resources. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers will deliver his 5th State of the State address at 7 p.m. today from the state capitol. It's a yearly tradition for the governor to come before the legislature and discuss both the state's progress and what he hopes to accomplish in his new term. Evers is expected to touch on abortion as he's repeatedly called for the legislature to create a referendum for Wisconsinites to vote on abortion ban that is current state law. He's also expected to discuss education and shared revenue and other tax reforms. The governor's YouTube and Facebook pages will stream the address. Also happening today, Western Technical College's Tomah campus will be hosting a ribbon-cutting ceremony and open house for their newly remodeled medical assistant classroom. The project helps create more space for proper lab facilities and classroom instruction. This event begins at 2 this afternoon and runs till 4 at Western's Tomah campus. We have more information on our website, news8000.com.
As you head out the door this morning, we are looking at a little bit. We're running into a chance of snow showers, though, for tomorrow morning and perhaps even into tomorrow afternoon, too. But looking at another snow chance here for Friday and Saturday. Look at those high temperatures dropping into the teens for this weekend and also into early next week. I know Dua is excited here next to me. She can't wait for those cold temperatures. And also our lows dropping into the single digits and at times below 0 later this week. So, yeah, it just gets better and better. I know you're just so thrilled about it.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the face of someone who's super excited.
Totally
for that
not being
snow.
sarcastic, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. We're always talking about our real emotional feelings here at News 8 this morning.
Can't wait.
Also, I saw those negative temperatures. Derek, what is going on?
We got a pretty strong cold front moving in, bringing in some cold air from the north. So get ready. It's going to get a little bit nippy.
You know what? I was really hoping we were reaching the end of winter and every single
It's
morning.
January.
Come on. I think every viewer should let Derek know that, we're kind of done with this every morning. It's always
We
cold.
still got the rest of this month, February, and into most of March. So,
darn.
sorry.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning. We'll see you back here at noon.